should take it slow.
Man, you guys remember this place? Benny's. It has been so long since you probably have come to this location. But in today's video, I wanted to make a top 10 list on the top 10 best cars to customize, in my opinion at least, in 2020. And of course, like all lists, these are definitely subjective, so let me know in the comment section, what are your top 10 cars or top 5 cars that you like to customize in the game. Now, these are in no particular order, but we are going to start with my favorite one, the one you're looking at, the Sultan RS. Now, I'm not going to run through like every bit of customization on these cars because that would make this video forever. But this is a Benny's car, obviously, considering we are in Benny's. And because of that, it's got so many options. And honestly, there's a reason I have like 4 of these vehicles in my garage. The liveries all look great. I clearly have it in like the Asimov look, where it's the white, the orange, and the black, and I think that looks incredible. I love the way this comes out. But I also have one that's white and red with the red livery. I have a blue and yellow with the yellow livery. So there's so many options that you have with this vehicle. You have a primary, secondary, and a trim. We don't want to sell it. Like, there are just a number of options, and that is for sure why it is on this list. I mean, look at this. These are the other 2 that I have, and they all look incredible. So the Sultan RS is definitely one of the top tier customizable cars. Next on the list is this vehicle, these 2 vehicles actually, the LG Retro Custom. Again, this is another Benny's vehicle, and I love these 2 looks. We have the white with the black and then the red rims. So a fairly simple color scheme, but it just pops. And then over here we have the blue with, I think it's gray. Yeah, the blue and the gray. And I just love these 2 vehicles. Much like the Sultan RS, because it's a Benny's car, I mean, you have so many different options. You have bumper options, chassis options, engine options, exhaust grill, bunch of hood options, interior options. The liveries are actually really cool looking. And like, yeah, this is just, it's one, honestly, really any of the Benny's cars are top tier customizable wise. That makes sense. But these 2 are like some of the top tier as far as just like looks go. Because there are certain cars in the game that have a bunch of customization, but it's not all good. These 2 are definitely some of the top tier, though. Third on the list, shocking. Well, again, this is in no particular order, but the Comet Retro Custom. Now, I have mine in a very, very simple, just, I think it's one of the metals with black. Very simple color scheme. But again, like the other vehicles, since it's a Benny's car, there are a bunch of great options for you to choose from. I've actually, on my other account, I think I have like a yellow one, because if I scroll down here, I believe there is one of the liveries. Yeah, this livery looks really cool. Honestly, most of these liveries look pretty sweet. I like the Mind Mocked one. But just the simpleness of this is great. And it's a Comet, you know what I mean? Like, Comets are freaking awesome. And the fact this is the Comet Retro makes it even more special. So that is the 3rd car. If you want to customize any vehicle, this is one I would choose. And I didn't plan this, but we're just going to continue down the line, because another vehicle is this one, the Spectre Custom. Now, some people may be like, wait, what? I've never seen that vehicle in my life. And that's because it's probably a vehicle you haven't seen. Like, I don't think I've ever seen one of these out on the streets, but just look how sexy this car is. Like, the wide body, the sleek design, it's a sports car. I got it in this super like darkish blue with the white stripe going down and then the white rims, tinted out windows. But the beauty is that this is also a Benny's vehicle. So there's a regular version, and then there's this version. And of course, this version has tons of options to choose from. And I think this is definitely one of the better cars to pick from this list if you're maybe just picking like a couple, just because it is such a rare vehicle to see. So, I mean, you're going to get some style points for using a vehicle that, you know, not many people actually go out and choose. And it's got some dope liveries, so that's always good. Bunch of other options. You can see 20 total categories. And again, I'm not going to go through everything, but yeah. The Spectre Custom. Look on Benny's website for it, I believe. And yeah, it's a solid vehicle. And real quick, before we get into any other vehicles, just showing you guys Benny's website. The Spectre's actually on sale if you're watching this the week I'm making it. But there are a ton of vehicles. And honestly, some of these classic muscle cars have tons of great customization. The Tornado is a solid one. The Sabre Turbo is another solid one. But none of those are actually on my list because I did sort of try and keep it to vehicles that would be fun to drive around in free roam. So yeah, you could definitely put those on the list, but I guess the vehicles on my list are a little bit better for driving around free mode. Now, next on my list is actually not a Benny's vehicle, and it actually is a classic vehicle, but the Dubachi Rapid GT Classic. This thing has some customization, and this thing looks incredible, and it actually is pretty fun to drive around in. We have 23 total categories, and you can see, I mean, there's not as many options as you would get on like a Benny's vehicle, but for the little, I guess, amount of customization this thing has, it has a lot. Like, I don't want to say a little and then everyone think it doesn't have a bunch of customization, because it does, but compared at least to Benny's, it's got less. But the customization it does have is incredible. Like, I love these customization options, and obviously you can see what I decided on in the final, the orange and black. I really like the way that looks. But I also did want to throw somewhat of a classic car on this list. I think like another one, I think the Ellie might have some really good customization options. You can see 17 engine options, which is great to make your own unique vehicle, and you have bumper options and stuff that you can decide on. But yeah, the Rapid GT Classic, this is one of my favorite sort of classic cars to customize. Another non-Benny's car is the Camacho. This thing is actually an off-road vehicle, and you can see I have it in this sort of off-road rugged style with the shovel up front, the sort of military livery, the matte green with that like matte khaki color, and I just think it looks incredible here. But this thing, 25 categories. We have bumpers, bunch of them. You have exhausts, a few of them. You have doors you can change. You have the grill option. You have the hood option that you have different options on. The liveries are all pretty cool. If you want to go crazy with it, you can definitely do that. Like, overall, this thing is incredible. And there are some other trucks in the game, at least some recent ones, that you can maybe throw in this, but this Camacho is probably one of the top tier trucks as far as performance goes, so I think that's what maybe gives this the edge. You get more bang for your buck with the Camacho. Another vehicle that is not a Benny's vehicle is this one, the Obey 8F Drafter. It's a sports car, as you just saw, but this thing looks incredible by itself, but when you have the added customization, it just takes it, I think, to another level. Now, the performance in this one, I don't think is anything special. Like, it's good, it's great, or it's decent, but it's not great. So I guess maybe if you're looking for performance and customization, this one might not fit the bill, but it does have some pretty solid customization and just overall looks. And one thing, I mean, it has 23 different categories. You have wind deflectors, spoilers, skirts, roof accessories, roof stuff. But the liveries, I think all of these liveries are pretty dang solid. Like, that's very rare on cars, it seems like nowadays. It seems like the liveries just kind of, there's like one good one. But this one looks like it has some pretty awesome ones that you can make your own. But yeah, you got grill, hood options, exhaust, bumpers, and it's got some some pretty solid choices. So this is another one. This is maybe a far out there choice, but if you're looking for a different sort of car, that one that people aren't maybe going to recommend, I think this 8F Drafter would be a pretty solid one to choose. Most of these newer cars, like this one, the Annis Hellion, they're not Benny's vehicles, since Rockstar just kind of forgot about Benny's, but this one is much like the Camacho in that it's got tons of really great customization, and I love it with this livery. I think it's the Nightmare livery, but this one you can like remove the panels on the back. You can see I have the hood completely removed. You have skirt options, and I mean, you just saw quite a bit. You have the roof, you have the roll cage, you have a bunch of, or I guess it's just the primary and a secondary respray. The livery, this is the Nightmare. You have the Impotent Rage, which is a kind of cool one because it goes across the entire back there. Some other ones that have some little unique designs on them, but this is a solid vehicle just all around because its performance is also really good as far as like SUVs and off-roading is concerned. It's got some different grille options, fender options, exhaust, engine, bumper. So you have quite a bit to choose from. And for the people out there that are looking for more off-road stuff, I think this and the Camacho will give you a lot of enjoyment. Now we had the Sultan RS on this list, and I think the Sultan Classic is a fairly solid vehicle to throw on this list as well. I don't believe this is a Benny's vehicle because it came out somewhat recently, but it does have a bit of customization. You can see I just got it with the Karen livery, although I actually think I prefer the tribal livery, kinda. Just gives it a pretty cool and retro sort of look. I could probably change this one up a little bit. I don't know if I necessarily like the blue with the yellow color scheme that I have going on here, but regardless, going through the liveries, I mean, it does have some pretty nice ones. More of a racing style car, I guess Rockstar wants you to go with than anything else, but 23 total categories: hood, headlights, exhausts, bumpers, tons of those. You got a bunch of roof options and roof accessories that you can throw on here. Skirts, spoilers, even trunk options. They got this one can be stickered out if you are one of those crazy people, but the Sultan Classic, it definitely is in line with the Sultan RS and having just really great customization. Of course, I had to have the Jester Classic on this list. I mean, I love the little Easter egg livery from Fast and Furious, like the Pizza Boy look here, the livery with the yellow paint. I absolutely love that. Love Rockstar for doing that. It does have some good customization. I will say I don't think it's as good of customization. Like, the options aren't as good as maybe some of the other ones on this list. And that's why I mentioned earlier that, you know, look, there's a bunch of cars you can customize, like some classic cars like the Tornado, that Sabre Turbo. Like, those are all really good options. But I think those aren't as good to drive around in. Those are more good to look in. Obviously, this one's a sports car, so it is a little bit better to drive around in, but it does have some solid customization. I just don't think, like, it's got a ton of carbon. So I guess if you're into carbon options, then you're going to love this vehicle, this vehicle's customization. If you're not, then you might not like it as much, but yeah, that is the Jester Classic. And then as a little bonus, because this has either come out or it is coming out soon, this is actually the Dinka Kanjo. The Dinka Blista Kanjo. And this thing is one of the best customizable cars Rockstar has released since Benny's. The performance is terrible. I will just let you guys know that right off the bat. But the customization is insane. I mean, you can just see, I love the look. I got here this sort of gold with the blue livery. You can camber the wheels if you desire, like a lot too. More than really any other vehicle in the game. You have a bunch of roof options. I'm not going to show them to you, but like, this vehicle is incredible for customization, and it's brand new, or it will be brand new depending on when it releases. But that is it with this video. That is my top 10 best cars to customize in 2020. Again, let me know your list in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching, and as always,
Como se